Hello, everyone. Here is a statement from Mr. Peter Obi on some of the items on the 2024 budget. He said, "Good morning, Nigeria. While I'm still waiting for the receipt of the full details of the 2024 budget for examination and to ensure the prioritization of the items for growth, I wish to comment on some of the items that are already in the public domain. The sum of 15.961 billion has been budgeted for trips for the aides of the president and the vice president. If the aides, hold on a minute, aides, all those hanger-ons, all those number of people that they carry, SSDs, SS that, this, that, they are the ones who over 15 billion has been budgeted for them. How much did they budget for education? The whole of education, how much? Health, how much? Okay. The sum of 15.961 billion has been budgeted for trips for the aides of the president and the vice president. If the aides are spending this much, one can extrapolate that their principals, the president and the vice president, will spend twice as much, which will be about 30 billion naira. This means that in 2024, the office of the president and vice president and their aides will be gulping over 45 billion for trips alone. Furthermore, the office of the chief of staff budgeted 20 billion for the renovation of the president and the vice president offices in Lagos and Abuja and their full digitization If you add 45 billion being the least that will be spent on transportation and 20 billion earmarked for renovations, it comes to about 65 billion, which is more than 57 billion being the amount passed by Senate last week for the police trust fund to secure over 20 million people. Join me. Peter Obi is now asking, say people should join him. Join me in figuring out the alternatives of what this amount can do in real productive terms for our dear country, especially in a critical area like internal security. This one, they are kidnapping people all the time. You go out, you hear this one story. You see that people, they almost kidnapped them, they almost came to their house, they almost did this, they almost did that. We are not being secure. All the insecurity, everywhere, people can't travel on the road, people can't do this, yet some people are there wasting our money, wasting our hard-earned money, wasting our collective wealth. We have over 5,000 police stations and operations across the country. Half of these police stations have no functional vehicles. Even those that have are giving less than 5,000 for fuel in a day, which is why if you are lucky for prominent people like me to call the police for any intervention in an emergency, the first thing that they tell you is that we have no fuel. We have no fuel. Na so Igbo people dey talk am fuel. We na fuel we dey call am. Assuming we decide to prioritize our list and use these resources, as most of the trips and the renovations are of no value to our growth and productivity, we can approach local manufacturers like Innoson and others and order 2,500 4x4 trucks, which as of today cost about 30 million. We'll be able to get 20% discount because we are buying in large quantities and paying them upfront. It will amount to 25 million each, which will be 62.5 billion for half of the police stations that do not have operational vehicles today, and which will be taken care of by the money we save from the budgeted travel and renovations. The 15 billion budgeted for the new residence of the vice president can be used for fueling police operational cars by tripling their fuel allowance from about 5,000 presently to 15,000 per day, which will come to 13.687 billion. By prioritizing our planning and budgeting this way, we will not only be securing the country better, but we'll be making our local industries more productive and profitable, thereby creating the desperately needed jobs. I urge that we urgently review our budget and revise it to prioritize our urgent needs in health, education, and pulling people out of poverty, which will only be achieved by a planning and budgeting strategy that targets these critical need areas. It is time we recognize our difficulty, especially the suffering of the poor masses, and prioritize our expenditure. That is what we clamor for in the new Nigeria, which we insist is very possible. Signed, P.O., meaning Peter Obi. Not only has he talked about the wastage and what this monies are, he has also talked about the different areas that these monies can be put, that every one of us as citizens of Nigeria we will benefit from it, rather than the wastage of some few people going abroad to absolutely do nothing, just like they did by getting to Dubai and just going about shopping malls and all over, while their mates were busy, doing the work that took them there, their mates from other countries.